Such an eerie wailing. I'm glad that it's morning. If it was night and I heard that, holy shit.
Deer hunting season is just around the corner, so I'm attempting to go out before then and try to shoot some deer my way. It will be a nice change of pace from all the birds I've been chasing. So I'm headed out to Shiawassee National WIldlife Refuge in mid-Michigan. Shiawassee is home to perfect natural habitat for them. The Ferguson Bayou Trail tracks the tree line alongside fields and rivers for miles, and the southern half of the refuge is surrounded by cornfields. I have my first deer sighting here. He's running down the road in front of me. There's a couple in the field. Deer are most active during autumn. There's a long, cold winter ahead and they need to build their fat reserves. So I'm not surprised to see this family just outside the refuge.
Right, so you can see here what I was talking about. Nice open field, and we've got some trees. And here you can see where the grass is all matted down. Maybe a family of deer or maybe something else has found it a good place to relax. They'll like to bed down here in the afternoon or overnight under these trees for cover. So we're definitely on the right track to see more.
Whitetail deer are very skittish and they hear very well, so I'll have to be as quiet as possible if I'm to see any more. Sometimes that's not enough. I've already startled 3.
That's how tricky it can be. All I did was stop moving. It didn't make a whole lot of noise. They saw me and they were gone. So the trouble with walking through a bayou is all the standing water. It's cold. I shouldn't say that. It's cool out, but the mosquitoes are still active. And there's a lot of places for them to bed down, a lot of places to spawn. And because it smells, I'm not wearing bug spray. So I'm gonna have 4 or 5 different forms of Zika by the time this is done.
Deer can pick up scent from a long way away, which helps them avoid predators and cameras alike. Bug spray could very easily make sure I see nothing today, so I'm not wearing any.
You've heard me mention that this is the Ferguson Bayou Trail. This isn't exactly like in Louisiana, but it's the same idea. This water will set here for months. We're right below the water table here, so any rain just fills this area up. And you've got these hardwood trees that provide a lot of cover and shade. It's a great place for wood ducks and for other waterfowl to hide because their primary predator are eagles. A lot of times the eagles, their wingspan prevents them from getting down this low. And if they do, the ducks can spot them, and they're so nimble they can certainly escape without too much trouble. Meanwhile, there's plenty of algae, plenty of tree seeds and things for them to eat.
Knowing your target animal's lifestyle, what they eat, where they hide, can be the difference between finding them and not.
2 roads diverged in a wood. Take a guess at which one I'm gonna take. So here's something actually really, really cool. This isn't garlic, folks. These are turtle eggs. Well, they used to be, now they're just shells. They got nice and soft and pliable, easy to break out of. As I walk this, I become more and more sure that this isn't actually a trail, but a deer run. Given that and the beaver lodges, I'd say I made the right choice. Problem is, I'm not getting any results but wet feet and mosquitoes in my mouth. Sometimes it's like that. you can make all the right choices and still lose. It's not failure. It's just part of life.
If they were to be found, young turtles would have made an excellent meal for many of the animals here. But I see none of the prospective diners around.
One of the things that I am most excited about right now is there's a competition going on, a photo competition for outdoorphotography.com. Now, the competition is supposed to do with nature's colors. And here you can see I've got some of the most colorful ducks I've ever seen. I believe they're wood ducks. And they're just hanging out. But what's really spectacular is all the green. So not only are the ducks spectacularly colored, but they're set against almost a green screen of all that algae. Well, again, we're not here for ducks, so it's time to pack up and move on. Walk the other half of the loop here and see what else I can find. So I mentioned earlier the photography contest. Now, as I was talking about last week, I really feel like I can make a better program and I can be a better photographer. One of the ways that I know how to get better is to set goals for myself, and I like to do short-term and long-term goals. In the short term, I've got this photo competition, which I would like to win, but the goal would be just to get an honorable mention at this point. I think that's a fair goal. So I will be mentioning that and noting which photographs I have that I'm considering for entry there. Over the long term, I'd really like to get to places that are a little out of reach and I'd have to overnight, maybe in an Airbnb or something. My wife and I are going down to Disney World next week for our honeymoon. It's about a year late, but as long as it gets there, I'm happy. And that means two things for this this YouTube station here is that, number one, I'm not going to be posting anything next week. I'm going to be hanging out with Mickey Mouse. But number two, you can bet for darn sure I'm going to be down at a wildlife refuge in Florida, bringing you gators and all sorts of fun stuff. So look forward to that. Like I said, there's going to be roughly a 2-week break here, and then I'll get back down to business.
Wildlife photography is a labor of love and a game of luck. Sadly, there's not always a happy ending. On the way back, the weather worked against me. The wind kicked up and a storm blew in, and anything that I would have seen had long since taken cover. It was a disappointing ending to a really enjoyable hike.